nature. Possession is the motivation that is hanging up the goddamn nation. Looks like they always end up in a rut. Everybody now trying to make it real compared to what? Come on, baby.
Hello everybody, I'm Dan Pascucci. Welcome to another exciting edition of Everything But the Kitchen Sink, Mansfield Cable Access's premier talk show in our time slot. And it is a pleasure to be here. Some usual things we want to talk about, and that's if you would like to come on as a guest, if you would like to recommend a guest, have a question for one of our guests, would like to be in our wonderful studio audience, or any other thing, read letters, anything you want, the all-purpose way to get a hold of us is through our email account at mansfieldkitchensink@gmail.com. You guys see it right there in front of your screen. Courtesy of the best in the business, our ace director, Jack O'Neill. Also, we are on Facebook under Everything But the Kitchen Sink TV show, and we can be available at Talk Mansfield. So, that's all good and well. So just so you know, this is our 77th show we're shooting tonight. So for those of you who thought I'd fade out real quick, you're wrong. Last week was our 2-year anniversary. We brought back George Dentino, who was our first guest, and we ran long. I mean, we could have gone another hour, so I want to have George come back. It was actually a very interesting show. I know you've seen it, and a lot of you probably think it was very interesting. George is a great guest, and there was so much to talk about. We ran short on time, so we will bring him back in the near future. But I want to thank George for a good job and always being there to support us. Now, the next thing on my agenda, of course, is very important, and that is not to forget our furry friends at the Mansfield Animal Shelter, the ones who can't ask you for help, and they depend on you. That shelter is 100% donations operated. It was built, run, and operated on your donations, so out of the goodness of your heart. So you want to visit them at mansfieldshelter.org. And so that's going to be it for our announcements, because tonight, as our friends from Monty Python would say, it's time for something completely different. We're going to do something really good tonight, okay? This is going to be a first for us, and I had the pleasure of bumping into a gentleman that is going to come in here. We're going to talk to him a little bit, and then he's going to entertain you, okay? Now, it's good news and good news. The good news is this man's going to entertain you, and the better news is if he's entertaining you, I won't be. So I just want to get that out of the way. But without further ado, I want to introduce to you a very nice man, very talented guitar player. He's going to do some James Taylor songs for us, and do a little music for us, a little something different. I would like to introduce Mr. Robert O'Connor. Welcome to the Kitchen Sink.
Thank you.
Glad you could make it. Welcome to Mansfield. I know you're not local.
No, Malden, Mass.
Malden, Mass. We won't hold that against you. No one's perfect. So anyways, so you play a nice acoustic guitar. You do a little solo action.
Yep.
You go to open mic nights. You don't charge for this. You go there and just kind of practice and have fun.
Yeah, just fun. They let you do a couple of songs.
Okay.
2 or 3 songs, and it's good. I've done a couple of shows in pubs, but you do about 4 songs, and then they start throwing the request at you.
Oh, okay. Well, it's better than the Blues Brothers when they're throwing all the beer bottles at them.
You need to know at least 150 songs to do it. The bar shows.
Right, and you're at 148.
I'm at like 20.
Oh, okay. Great. So now you play acoustic guitar, and how long have you been doing that?
15 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been playing 15 years.
Very good. And I have heard Robert, and he is very good. And I don't want to make him nervous or anything. This is
too late.
He's never been on TV before, but there's a first time for everything. If you want to talk about baptism by fire, welcome. So James Taylor, definitely Mr. New England, of course. What got you on him? Is this the style of the music, or?
Yeah, I just love James. I mean, growing up, I remember hearing James Taylor. My brothers played it. I'm the youngest of 3 brothers. They're always playing James Taylor. Neil Young, Crosby, Stills, and Nash. That's what I grew up with. But then I kind of got away from it. Got into the heavy metal when I was a teenager. I heard Eddie Van Halen play. So
Yeah.
I ran out and got an electric guitar and an amp. Didn't know how to play a note. Played Smoke on the Water for about 2 years. And
Just the
then,
first verse, right?
Yeah. And then,
Is it a lot different to play that kind of guitar than the one you're going to play for us tonight?
yeah, I mean, I just started playing fingerstyle guitar about 5 years ago.
And what does that mean? What is finger style for the
Instead
folks
of
at home?
simply instead of strumming, you're picking each string with the separate finger.
Really?
Usually the 3 fingers and the thumb.
Wow.
Yeah, it changes the whole dynamic.
Do you ever
of it.
think that James Taylor might ever do one of your songs?
I don't think so, because I haven't written any.
Oh, okay.
Very hard to write songs, but I tell you, James Taylor is he's so underrated as a guitarist. He is. I mean, I don't think a lot of people realize what a great guitarist he is. You know, he's
Well, he was
classical.
he was put into a rock and roll category, and that's not really his thing.
It's more folk, I
Right.
think.
And you know, but that's the stations that played him, and you know, early on, and that's how he got in, you know, mixed into the rock circuit.
Yeah.
So people, you know, like you say, he's not getting his props because of that.
Yeah, I've seen him like 10 times. You know, he's a great show to see.
Right.
And I always used to say he should do a show, just him, like back where he started, just him and his guitar. And a few years back he did it, and I had the pleasure of going to it. It was
Wow. I don't know a whole lot about James Taylor, but I do know his music, and I do know that he was on the Ali Foreman documentary, because that was the fight at Madison Square Garden where James Taylor was booked.
Oh.
Now they actually made a deal with James Taylor to give up the night so that he could, you know, they could have this.
Well, they
This-
double book?
Well, they wanted that night, and James Taylor was already booked. Now this was a fight for history, okay, and apparently, you know, they made a financial deal, and I guess some of the deal was that they'd give James Taylor some good tickets to the fight. Well, apparently, according to James, they put him so far back and he couldn't even see the ring.
I never heard that story. That's a good
But
one.
it's a good documentary. But if you want to catch it, it's very good. I know that they, you know, they interviewed James Taylor when he was quite a bit younger when they interviewed him. But it's an interesting, you know, it's an interesting thing. So you're from Malden.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us a little about yourself.
Grew up in New Hampshire.
Really?
Yep. Grew up in the White Mountains, New Hampton, New Hampshire, until I was 12. Then the family went down to Houston, Texas, and there was a lot of work down there, and that was culture shock. They were still fighting the Civil War down there at that time. That was back in the 80s, and then did about 9 years there. Came back when I graduated high school, and you know, you can't take a kid out of New England, you know. The whole time I was in Texas, I couldn't wait till I could graduate to get out of there. So hopped in the lime green Chevette and drove up to Manhattan, and been here ever since. I Manhattan for 2 years, and I used to be a carpenter, and that's what I was doing, and now I'm in Malden, Mass. I met my wife. You know, it's funny because I met my wife watching the Red Sox play the Angels at El Torito on Route 1. I went there to see the game, and what happened was all these guys were trying to buy her a drink, and she kept turning them down. So I asked the waitress what she was drinking, and I walked up to her and said, "Please, you know, if you don't want to drink it, just talk to me." And then that was it. Most expensive melon margarita I ever bought. That was 22 years ago.
Wow, El Torito, does that bring back memories? That was the only Mexican chain restaurant around here.
Now it's Kelly's roast beef.
Kelly's roast beef is right. But yeah, Mexican wasn't very popular around here then. They didn't have all the choices they have.
Wow, time flies.
So do you have children?
Yeah, my son Matthew's 19, and he's a freshman at Mass College of Pharmacy. Doing great.
Excellent school.
A's and B's. I think I'm gonna have a blood test. I don't think he's my kid.
All right.
You know, A's and B's, he's doing great. I'm proud of him. He's up in New Hampshire right now. He's a camp counselor at Camp Fatima.
Very nice.
Yeah, good kid. And he's great on piano. He's a good piano player.
Wow. Well, excellent. Well, I didn't want to put you on the spot. You came here for a reason. We want to hear some good music, and I know you can entertain us a little bit here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back it on out here early tonight, okay? And we're going to let Robert entertain us. He really is good. I know you folks are going to like this. So what I'll do is we do have another show coming up next week. special guest coming in, no guitar, so you're going to have to listen to it all this week, okay? Anyways, I'm Dan Pascucci, and I want to thank you for having my kitchen in your living room. Again, if you need to get a hold of us for any reason whatsoever, you can get through to us on our email account at mansfieldkitchensink@gmail.com. One more time, okay? Follow the bouncing ball. And also on Facebook, Everything But the Kitchen Sink TV show, and of course on talkmansfield.org. We're gonna let Robert O'Connor. I want to thank you for coming in and entertaining us, and we're gonna let your music do the talking for you. And we'll catch you next time on Everything But the Kitchen Sink. And I turn it over to the wonderful work of Mr. Robert O'Connor.
Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. Suzanne, the plans they made put an end to you. I walked out this morning and I wrote down this song. I just can't remember who to send it to. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you again. Won't you look down upon me, Jesus? You gotta help me make a stand. You just got to see me through another day. My body's aching and my time is at hand, and I won't make it any other way. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you again. I've been walking my mind through uneasy times, my back turned towards the sun. Lord knows when the cold wind blows, it'll turn your head around. Well, there's hours of time on the telephone line, talk about things to come, sweet dreams and flying machines and pieces on the ground. Oh, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you, baby, one more time again now. I thought I'd see you one more time again. There's just a few things coming my way this time around me now. Thought I'd see you, fire and rain now. La la la, la 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 la.